to Season 2, Episode 2 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in Impact Wrestling history with match number 49 on our list, which is the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match between the champion AJ Styles and the challenger Raven from the August 27th, 2003 edition of NWA-TNA. The build to Raven's challenge for the NWA title against Jeff Jarrett throughout 2003 is one of the better things that I think TNA has done during their history. Unfortunately, the end result for it, which I think everybody logically thought would be Raven winning the NWA title, it didn't quite turn out that way. There was a weird Vince Russo interference turn thing, and it didn't happen, and they really missed the mark on that, which again, unfortunately would be something that the TNA would repeat its history with quite a few times. So disappointment aside, the chase for Raven to fulfill his destiny, as he referred to it, to become the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, it was, good episodic television. What ended up happening though is AJ Styles was kind of shoehorned into the rematch that Jarrett and Raven had, and he ended up winning his first NWA World Heavyweight title. It was a very shocking moment. Again, Vince Russo, got himself involved and kind of became AJ's manager, which I don't think was the way anybody wanted to see, arguably the best wrestler in TNA, capture his first heavyweight title. But at the same time, it did feel like they were striking while the iron was hot with AJ. So kind of made up for the Raven thing a little bit. Raven got shifted into a feud with Father Jim Mitchell and the New Church that involved Shane Douglas as NWA return, and it kind of led to this Raven Douglas feud, with the motif being that it's something that we never really got to see in ECW, even though they were two of ECW's biggest stars. They didn't really cross paths too much during that time. So we had that feud going on, but Raven, still on track to his destiny of becoming champion that he would finally, obtain in 2005. But until that point, he had actually won a gauntlet for the gold match that, resulted in him getting this title shot. Going into this match, I don't think anybody, myself especially, really thought that AJ was going to drop the title, this early into his reign, especially with Raven, who had his own thing going on with the New Church feud, like I said. That said, this match did an incredible job of making it seem like the title change was possible, which I always really appreciate. I'm all for, title matches, not always, needing to be, super well hyped with months of build. I'm all for, I'll say lesser challengers getting a title shot. I've mentioned that in some of my videos in the first season of this show. But I really appreciate if, a promotion takes a risk at doing that, if they make it seem like the challenger is a credible threat, right? If it helps elevate that person, I think, that's the ultimate goal that can be achieved. And that's exactly what they did here. This match was the Raven show. These guys have fantastic chemistry with each other. This match is incredible. They had a really good match in 2004 too that, isn't going to make the list, but, is really well worth watching. Raven really seems to step up his game against guys that can go and that can especially make him look good. This was an all-time performance from Raven in a role that we never really got to see him in too much. He was kind of like, the ultimate kind of fiery babyface in here, and he did a fantastic job with it. And it really makes me, think, what if, right? What if Raven, in either ECW or in WCW especially, could have been given, what kind of a top babyface run, what that could have looked like. This match is just really smart. It's got a great sense of urgency early on. Raven goes for a cover after every move he hits for the first little bit and just gets multiple 2 counts. I love that. I think that's something that we need more in wrestling. A real, spotlight put on guys trying to win the match, because that's the ultimate goal, right? You want to win. That's pro wrestling. So Raven does a great job of that, and he actually shifts this and makes this his match. So although it's not, a Raven's Rules match, he really makes, stretches AJ outside his comfort zone. He uses a garbage can and splits AJ's head open, which kind of puts AJ into panic mode a little bit. That's not something you'd see a lot from him, with the blood. He delivers, multiple guardrails or Russian leg sweeps into the guardrail, which was pretty cool. And he pushes the pace and dictates the style of the match. There's a spot really early on where, Raven is in control and Vince Russo interferes, right? So again, it kind of seems like, oh, this is how this match is going to go, but very smartly they had, Raven's gathering that he had at the time, CM Punk and Julio De Niro, run out and pull Russo away and drag him off. And that helped make it seem like, maybe this will be Raven's night. Maybe he can take the title. From there, AJ ends up getting control though, does a great job, showing frustration. And again, he did so well as an arrogant heel in this era. So, he brings a chair in, and what does he do? He drop toe holds Raven into the chair, right? One of Raven's signatures, and kind of says, okay, you want me to fight your style? That's exactly what I'm going to do. He makes a critical mistake. He goes for it again. Raven picks up the chair, saboos it, throws it right into AJ's head. From there, AJ, again, being arrogant, actually goes for a Sabu move. He goes for like a triple jump, turnaround thing off the chair, off the ropes. And again, he doesn't learn, right? His arrogance gets the best of him. You can't pull out ECW moves on an ECW legend. So Raven picks up the chair and just Sabus him with it again, which I thought was a great spot. Raven traditionally kind of coins his, match style is the dog and pony show, right? All of the different interference and things like that just add all of these, layers to the match, and they help kind of hide guys' weaknesses. So they go into this here. He's got, great babyface fire throughout it, but he actually counters an AJ Styles Rana into a Styles Clash, which again was really cool. You never see Raven do moves like that, right? And just as the three's about to come down, a Sin from the New Church runs out, pulls out the referee. That leads to a miscommunication spot where AJ, knocks Sin off the apron. Raven goes for the even flow, hits it, but the ref gets bumped, right? That brings out Slash from the New Church with a handful of baby powder. What happens? Raven kicks the powder into his eyes, and then in a really awesome near fall, while Slash is blinded, he actually hits his whirly bird, finishing move on AJ, which leads to a 2 count and a super hot creative near fall. From there, Slash gets taken out. Raven goes for an even flow off the top, and I actually bought that they were going to go through with that because AJ's crazy, right? He was a bump machine in this era, but out comes Shane Douglas to cut it off, and it leads to a really good finish of just Raven having to fight off everybody with that babyface fire that I mentioned, but he eventually, gets playing out the Styles Clash, and that's all she wrote. This match, ended up setting up the War Games match the following week on the Super X Cup show, which was at the time kind of a fun little match too. It was, TNA's take on War Games, and at that point, that was something I think, WCW fans were really missing. And although it wasn't the same, it was fun enough. This match was great though. I'm a huge fan of Raven, as I've talked about in previous videos. This match, kind of took almost like a little bit of a flashback back to 1992 Scotty the Body, right? Where he was, just more of a wrestler's wrestler, but it incorporated the hardcore stuff and the, like I said, the interference and the run-ins and the overbooking. And it put it all together in arguably one of Raven's best career performances, I think. AJ was super game and the perfect person to pair him with. I wish we would have gotten a chance to see this match a little bit more, but it is what it is in hindsight. Of course, you can check this match out on Impact Plus on Fight TV. Please subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, follow on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50, and join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.